Hey everybody, it's Hollywood. This is my second attempt at making some sort of vlog. Once again, I have nothing to talk about, and I'm pretty sure one of the standard rules of doing vlogs is to have something to talk about before you start filming. But, fuck planning. That's boring. I don't like planning. I like to do things my own way, and so I have nothing to talk about right now. Basically, I'm just talking into a camera, and yeah. So here I am. Hi. Uh, um, okay. So let's talk about. Okay, I know what to talk about. Sure, let's talk about things that are really taboo. I love talking about things that other people find very uncomfortable and very unsettling. Like sex, for instance. Nobody ever wants to talk about sex. Nobody ever wants to talk about masturbation, even though everybody does at least one of those things, and sometimes both, sometimes at the same time. So, I just find it funny how everybody gets so offended when you talk about something like that because sex is, last time I checked, is pretty natural. I mean, I wouldn't know personally, but from what I've read in books and whatnot, it seems pretty natural. So for people to be get super wound up when you talk about something like that, I find it amusing. And death too. Death, people never want to talk about death. People try to act like it's not happening. That I can kind of understand because it's a little bit depressing, just a little bit. But that's the thing I love talking about too. I love talking about death. I think it's a very interesting topic. Uh, there's so many questions that'll never be answered, but I love to think about it. That's a very emo thing to say, but it's true. I just like talking about things that make other people uncomfortable. And a lot of people who know me can account for that because I think I make a lot of people uncomfortable. And I can't say it's unintentional because I just love talking about it. You know, and I made a blog post a couple months ago, I think, about people getting offended really easily. And I guess I'll elaborate on that a little more right now since I have nothing else to discuss. People just get so worked up over what other people say. People get so worked up over words and things that people use to express themselves. And you shouldn't, because other people's opinions don't make you who you are. It has nothing to do with who you are. It only does if you let it. If somebody calls you, an asshole and you're not an asshole, then if you buy into that and believe it, you're making yourself become an asshole almost. You believe that you are one, even though you aren't. Maybe you are, but you don't have to believe that you are. That, you know, I think I'm a grade A asshole, but, you know, and people call me that. People have called me all sorts of things in my life. People have said all sorts of things about me, and they've called me unfortunate names, and, you know, I used to get really worked up over it too, and then I realized how pointless that is. Because somebody calling you names, they're just jealous. They're mad at you. They have some reason to be aggravated with you. And as a result, they can't think of anything else to do, so they just call you a stupid name or say a stupid word. But why get offended by it? As humans, we live in a very hostile world and we have to grow some thick skin because people are going to say things that you don't like. They're going to say things you don't agree with. People are going to disagree with you and they're going to say mean things about you because of your opinions. But you can't let that change you and you can't let that change your opinions. I mean, I'm not a religious person, but I live in a place that is very, very religious. My whole family goes to church. Everybody I know goes to church, and they're all very, very religious. And I hear things all the time that are very negative towards people who think like I do. And of course, they don't know that I think like I do, but they say these things anyways. And I could get really offended by it. And I could just, go into a spiral of depression because this person doesn't think atheism is good. This person thinks atheists are evil. This person doesn't trust atheists. And I could go on all day about how, these awful things people say about people who aren't religious, and I could just get so worked up over it to the point where I like almost become religious because I don't want to be that way anymore. But I don't. I grew thick skin and I said, that's their opinion. And it has nothing to do with me or who I am or how I feel. And it shouldn't. And I know that's tough. That's, easier for me to say than for you to actually do because naturally we have emotions and our feelings get hurt when people say mean things about us. And it's okay to be a little bit hurt, but you can't let it change you. You can't let somebody else's viewpoint change your own viewpoint. And I've learned that over time. I used to have you know, the sheep mentality. I always used to follow the lead of everyone else because I was scared that I would get beat down if I had my own opinion. And then I realized I didn't agree with what the rest of the herd was doing. So I broke away and have my own opinions now. And I have my own strong convictions. And yeah, I mean, you're going to get a lot of shit for it, especially if you make it well known. But like I said, other people's opinions, that shouldn't mean anything to you that much. I mean, obviously, you want to make a good impression on people, and that's fine. But if somebody says something bad, you got to let it roll off your back because this, like I said before, it's a hostile world. I mean, you just have to find a way to be able to deal with it the best way possible. And you have to be able to face criticisms. If you want to improve in life, you have to be able to face criticisms. You have to be able to look at criticism and say, okay, maybe I do need to improve a little bit. But it doesn't mean you have to change who you are. Criticisms are good. They help you discover the things that you really do need to change about yourself. But you can't let those affect you deeply to the point where you change who you are altogether. You know, but yeah, if you can accept criticism, that's a big thing. And I'm learning to do that slowly but surely. It's yeah. So I don't know what else to talk about, but that's one thing I think about a lot. Things that are taboo, people get offended by, and people getting offended too easily. I think people almost are always looking to be offended. They want to be offended. They want something to be mad about, I think. Because people, it never fails. Anything happens anywhere at all. There's going to be at least a small group of people who are angry about it irrationally. Always, every time. Anytime you see a news story, even if it's something beautiful, something great, there's always going to be that one guy who's pissed off about it. Just because he's pissed off at the world or he just wants to be mad at something. I truly believe that humans just love being offended by something. And I don't know why. I guess it's just a part of our makeup. But we have to break that. You know, you cannot let yourself get offended by everything because you're going to be the angriest human being on the face of the earth. I've learned that. I used to get offended by things all the time, and it's not any fun. So, if you can learn to not be offended and not get mad at every little thing that you don't like, you'll do just fine in life. You'll be able to handle anything that comes your way. It's all about changing your mentality. I mentioned that in my last vlog. You can change your outlook on life, change the way you look at things. It'll change who you are and for the better. So if you can change getting offended by everything and just being able to look at the positives and not get offended by what people say or do, then you'll be better off for it in the end. And I know that I am. I'm doing a lot better now that I don't get worked up over every little thing. And I think you will as well. So, anyways, I think that's enough for today. Once again, if you have any topics, anything at all, literally, that you would like me to talk about, you can post it in the thread. Send me a message. If you have questions, even you want me to answer on here, they can be anything from just stupid questions to deep philosophical questions that I will have no good answers to. Send them to me in a PM and I'll answer them. And yeah, I'll talk about anything. I have nothing that I won't talk about really. So anything that you'd love to see me discuss, I'd love to be able to have a conversation with you. Send me a message and I'll talk about it right here. Anyways, I'll try to get another vlog up. I'd like to do it every 2 or 3 days. So hopefully in a couple more days I'll have something else to talk about because it took me this long to find something else. So help me out there, please, if you want to see more of these. And yeah, anyways, I hope you enjoyed and I will see you around. Bye.